Going? I hope you're having a great day. And I have some awesome news for you. Today's lesson is going to be pretty straightforward, and it's going to be a pretty quick video because we're just kind of talking more about everything we talked about yesterday, which is like how many flat surfaces a shape has, and also how many vertices or vertex, or we can just call them corners, the little pointy parts of any shape. Like on this cube here. You have a corner there, you have a corner here, over there, over here, all these corners everywhere, and even back behind here where we can't see, there's actually a corner back there. Alright, so we have a bunch of corners, and like I was saying before, you can use tissue boxes to help you out, or actually any kind of box you have that you can find around the house. Maybe your parents ordered something off Amazon. Go ahead, take that box from them, and go ahead and count the corners. I promise you, there will always be 8 on any kind of box, whether it's a cube or a rectangular prism. All right, and so let me kind of walk you through this first one. So they're giving us a description of a shape, and it says, has flat surfaces, cannot roll. Okay, so we look at all of them. We look over at this cylinder. Yeah, it has some flat surfaces, but if we lay it flat, it can roll around. Like, a can of soda, that can roll around. So it can't be this one. What about this cone? Yeah, it has a flat surface on the bottom, but if you lay it down, it's going to roll around. So it can't be that. And with this sphere, it has no flat surfaces at all, and all it does is just roll around all the time, so it definitely can't be this. So that means it has to be this cube. So what we did was we sorted out all these shapes and found the one we needed. All right, so that's all we're doing today. We're sorting out shapes. How fun is that? Okay, and let's go to number 2. Let's kind of figure this out together. It says can roll. So it can roll around, it's allowed to this time, but no flat surfaces. Okay, so let's see here. Let's start right here with this cone. Ready? Can a cone roll around? It sure can. But remember, we don't want any flat surfaces. That's a big no for any flat surfaces. Is there a flat part on a cone? There sure is. You might not be able to see it easy here, but if we draw a cone by adding a circle and a point, look, there's a flat bottom. So it can't be the cone. What about, let's go over here. What about this cylinder? Can it roll? Yeah, sure it can. It's looking good so far. Does it have flat surfaces? Yeah, it's got one up top and it's got one down here. And we don't want flat surfaces, right? We don't want that. So it can't be the cylinder. Let's go back over here. What about this cube? Can a cube roll around? No, it can't. It can't roll around at all. So already, it's not this shape. What about a sphere? Can a sphere roll? It sure can. Does it have flat surfaces? Is it flat anywhere? No. And that's what we're looking for. We need that no for flat surfaces. So we would circle the sphere. Let's go to the next one. All right. It has one vertex, or we could say corner, right? We can call it a corner. And it has one flat surface. All right. Let's start at this end. A sphere. Does it have any corners on it? Any vertices? No, it has none. So right away, this sphere is out of the question. It's a big no on that. What about this cylinder? Does it have any vertices? Or I'm sorry, vertices? Are there corners? No, it doesn't have any corners. So right away, it cannot be a cylinder because we need at least one corner, right? And what about this cube? Does a cube have any corners? It does, but we got to make sure it doesn't have too many because we just want a shape that has only one corner, and this cube has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember, there's that one back here we can't see. 8. This has way too many corners, so it cannot be the cube. So we can go ahead and cross that out. What about this cone? How many corners does it have? It has 1 right there. And what about flat surface? How many? It just has 1. And look, it's standing on top of it. See? Right there at the bottom. Alright, so we would circle the cone. That's the shape that we're looking for. That's what they're describing as 1 vertex and 1 flat surface. That's it. So if you end up having some trouble with this, I'm going to give you guys a hint about what you could do. So if you don't know right away what shape it is that they're talking about, go through all the shapes like I'm doing here, and you can just cross out the ones that don't work. Like the sphere didn't work because it didn't have any corners. And the cylinder didn't work because it had no corners. And the cube didn't work because it had too many corners and left us with 1, the cone. And that is called a process of elimination. You can also use it for all the tests you take too. So it's not just for math, it's for a lot of things. Let's go number 4. It says there are no vertices. No vertices. That means no corners. Okay? And it has 2 flat surfaces. All right, let's start over here with this rectangular prism. So does it have vertices? Does it have corners? It does. So it can't be this rectangular prism because we want a big NO on those corners. We don't want any corners. What about this cube? Does it have corners? It does, so it can't be the cube either. What about this sphere, this ball? Does it have corners? It doesn't. So far it's looking good. It has no corners, that's good. And but we also need 2 flat surfaces. Does the ball have any flat surfaces like the cube does? No, it's round everywhere. There's no flat parts on it, so it can't be this sphere. So that leaves us with one thing. It leaves us with the cylinder. See how it has 2 flat surfaces, 1 up top and 1 on the bottom? 2 flat surfaces, but there's no corners. Alright, so for this next part, I'm going to need you to go get your math workbook, okay? And we are going to open it up to the page that has 15-8 at the tippy top right corner. And I'll show you, as always, what that paper should look like in the video. Alright, hopefully you have your workbooks out with you. If you don't have it, pause the video, go get your math workbook. Remember, it's the black one with the butterfly on it, okay? Grab that workbook and come right back. Open up to the page where at the top, just like my paper, it says Reteaching 15-8. And that's the page you're going to look for in your workbook, okay? And as soon as you get that page open, then hit the play button. So if you don't have your workbook, go do that. But if you have your workbook and you're ready to go, let's continue. Alright, and just like we did before, they're giving us a description, and we just have to find the shape that fits that description. And I'll read the directions up here. It says, circle the solid figure that follows the sorting rule. So the sorting rule is the description that they're giving us. And so for number 1, it says, it has all flat surfaces. So which one of these shapes has all flat surfaces, no round parts? So right away you can see that this sphere can't be it because it's all round. The cylinder can't be it because it has some round parts to it. So that leaves this rectangular prism, and it has all flat surfaces. It's flat on the top, the sides, the front, the back, everywhere. Alright, so remember now when we start doing the first workbook page together, you're going to try this on your own. I'll give you some time. And remember, if at any point you need some extra time, you pause this video and you take your time solving these problems, okay? I don't want you to feel rushed. I don't want you to just run through it and not really care if you have the right answer or not. I want you to make sure you take your time, you focus, and you really pay attention because sometimes these can get a little tricky. So number 2, I'm going to read it, and then I'll give you guys a couple seconds to circle your answer. It has no flat surfaces. So the shape we're looking for out of the cylinder, the cube, and the sphere, we want the only shape that has no flat surfaces. So go ahead and pick the shape that has no flat surfaces. All right, I think by now you probably picked an answer. And if you need some more time, pause the video and let's go through this one at a time. Let's look at the cylinder. We see that's kind of round, but it has a flat top and a flat bottom. So it cannot be the cylinder because we want no flat surfaces. We want a big 0. Okay? The big 0. Let's see here. A cube. A cube has, well, it has 6 flat surfaces, so it can't be the cube. What about the sphere? Are there any flat surfaces? No, there's none. So that means the sphere is our answer. Okay, let's read number 3. Number 3, the clue is it can roll. It can roll. So what is the only shape that can roll around on a table? Okay, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to circle your answer. Is it either a cylinder, a cube, or a rectangular prism? Go ahead and pick your answer. Okay, I think you guys probably picked an answer by now. If not, as always, pause the video, and when you're ready, hit play. Okay, let's start at this end. A rectangular prism, can it roll around? Nope. It has too many flat surfaces. What about a cube? No, that can't roll around either. And what about a cylinder? Well, sure it can, because it's round all around the sides, just like a can of soup. You can roll a can of soup. That means you can roll a cylinder, because they're the same shape. And number 4, circle the 2 figures. Remember, they want 2 different shapes here, 2 figures. What are the 2 shapes that have flat surfaces and curves? So a curve is something that isn't flat. It's, how do I put this? Kind of like, a can of soup. The side of it is curved. It's kind of roundish. So that whole side of the can is a curve because it goes round and around. So they're saying what 2 shapes have a flat surface and curves. So they want something that has some flat parts, but also has a curved part. So you need to circle 2 shapes. Is it going to be the cylinder, the cube, the rectangle, the sphere, or the cone? I'll give you guys just a couple seconds to circle your answers. Alright, I think that was enough time. If you need more time, pause the video until you are ready. Okay, let's go through them. Alright, so the first one is a cylinder. Does it have a curve? It sure does. Right around the side here. Kind of curves around like that. Are there flat surfaces? There sure are at the very top and the very bottom. So we can definitely circle this shape because it has the two things that they want. It has a flat surface and curves. What about a cube? Does it have flat surfaces? It sure does. Does it have any curves? Can it roll around? No, it cannot roll around, so it cannot be a cube. What about a rectangular prism? It has flat surfaces. Can it roll? No, it can't, so it can't be the rectangular prism. What about a sphere? It has curves, so we know it can roll around. But does it have flat surfaces too? It doesn't, because it's round all over it. There's no flat parts, so it cannot be a sphere. And we have one shape left, which is a cone. It has a flat surface at the bottom here. Right here. There's a flat surface. Can it roll around if you lay it down on its side? It sure can. It has curves, so we can circle the cone. So those are the two shapes that that they're talking about because they both have flat surfaces and they both have curves. All right, now let's go into your assignment for today. So go ahead and turn that page. Let's look at the other side. All right, everyone, here is your assignment for today that you will do on your own. But as always, I am not going to leave you guys hanging. I will read each one to you. I just can't give you the answers. All right? So I can't give you the answers. I'm sorry, but I can't. So let's read the instructions. It says, read the sorting rule, which is that little description that it gives at the beginning. It says, circle the solid figures that follow that rule. All right? So number 1 says, one flat surface. And remember, you only have 4 shapes to pick from, and they give them to you all in a row. You have, looks like a cube right there, and then you also have a sphere, you have a cone, and a cylinder. So just so you guys don't get mixed up, if you need to, draw a line under all those shapes, and that way you don't get the questions all mixed up or anything like that, okay? So number 1 is one flat surface. What shape just has one flat surface? Number 2, what shape has 8 vertices? Now remember, vertices are corners, which could be, like that, or like these pointy parts of shape, okay? So what shape has 8 corners? Number 3, what shape has 2 flat surfaces? Which one of these shapes has 2 flat surfaces? Number 4, what shape has 6 flat surfaces? Remember, you only have 4 shapes to pick from. Okay, let's read number 5. What shape has 0 vertices or 0 corners? Okay, that is number 5. What shape has 0 corners? And if you need to, you're allowed to circle more than one answer for this one. Okay, feel free to circle more than one answer. There's not just one answer for number 5. There are 2. Okay? Think about everything we worked on so far. What shape has 0 corners? Okay, number 6. It says, which rule tells how these solid figures are alike? So, this cube and this rectangular prism, how are they the same? Is it A, they have 3 vertices? Is it B, they have 4 flat surfaces? Is it C, they have 5 vertices? Or is it D, they have 6 flat surfaces? All right, and that's it. That's your assignment for today, guys. Answer numbers 1 through 6. When you're all done, make sure mom and dad take a picture and send it in. If you have any questions Of course, as always, ask your teacher, okay? They will be more than happy to answer any of your math questions. Or, if you would like, you can always rewatch parts of the video. Sometimes just rewatching a certain part of a video or just rehearing something again can help you understand things better. So, whichever one you're happier about doing or you feel more comfortable doing, go ahead and do it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the math lesson today, and I will see you all next time. Have a great day.